Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anup Kokni, and here we discuss about the Indian stock market indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty, and try to understand how they have played today and what we can expect this indices to do tomorrow, and what could be the likely behavior and price action, and also look back at the options contracts. Right. So let's start with Nifty. Okay. All right, so Nifty opened with a gap up. So as we saw day yesterday, it was a big gap up, and we had a gap to be filled, which was not filled and which was held back by the previous day low. So today at the opening itself, we saw a gap down coming in, and then the gap got filled completely. And not only the gap getting filled, but also the previous week's high was tested multiple times at 18,500, right? So there had been a lot of selling pressure that was seen today in the markets. Uh, and then there was also a support coming in at 18,500, which we understood to be the key level, right? So if you look at the close, we are at 18,550. So 18,500 and 18,550 were the supports that we spoke about yesterday, and 18,650 and 700 were the key resistance levels, right? But the market opened with a negative bias, and then it started testing in these levels of 18,550 and 18,500. Now we will have to wait and watch tomorrow if these levels will be held back, or we can see more fall coming in Nifty, and uh, then also test back the levels of 18,450 and 18,400. So let's look on the intraday time frame, and let's start with the daily chart and see how the daily candle looks like. The daily candle definitely had been bearish since morning. It had been you know showing in a lot of downward momentum, and we saw a lot of selling coming in. Then finally in the last 1.5 hours is when we started the buying coming in from the levels of 18,500. So it would be interesting to watch tomorrow if this levels of 18,450, which has been a key support, as you could see here, will be tested. And if that particular level is broken, then 18,300 could be a level that would be reached, if not tomorrow, day after, right? And tomorrow being a weekly expiry, it becomes very important to understand whether the market has been trending or it would be a directional market, which we will try to assess in the next few minutes, right? And also confirm with the pivot histogram that we get to see tomorrow in the morning as soon as the market opens up. So let's get on to the intraday timeframes and try to understand if there is anything that we need to look upon. The price is definitely at a very key level on the 1 hour chart. It's trading at the 20 EMA and has closed below it, but it has slowly recovered until this 20 EMA. Now, I foresee that because it has come and closed this gap and also been trailing there, probably I expect this to be consolidating at this levels of 18,550 and 18,450. So I don't think tomorrow we should see a large momentum, especially in Nifty, where you have this 100 points range. But we will clarify this further looking at the lower time frames and understand. So if you look at, no, on an hourly there is not nothing much, but if you try to get onto the 15 minutes chart, so the 15 minutes chart definitely has a new lower high that's been built today. So let's try to change this. Okay. So the lower high of today, which is at 18,572, stands to be a key level, which was also a support earlier, from where there was certain buying pressure come in. So now if this breaks through, then I expect it to go up to 18,650. But if it doesn't break through and it gets resistance from this trend line, which we just drew, then probably 18,450 could be the level that the Nifty would get down to. And then probably there could be time correction at 18,400. And if 18,400 breaks down, then definitely we could see a very good downfall up to 18,200. Right. So that's how it's looking on the intraday time frame. Let's look at the pivot relationships for tomorrow. Okay. So now definitely after 4 days of upwards momentum, we get to see a downward momentum. So you see this downward step. So it's a lower value relationship, a narrow CPR, the closing below the CPR. So definitely there is a lot of inclination towards the bearishness in the market. So as I mentioned, the first level of support could be at 18,450, but if it's broken, then further down we can get up to 18,400 and the levels below. Right, so we will see how the opening would look like in the morning if it opens above CPR or below CPR. But if it opens below CPR and then the price starts trailing downwards, we can definitely see a lot of more bearishness coming into the market. Yeah, we will again further see on the option contracts and see what the market participants' sentiments are with regards to Nifty. So now on Nifty, with the ATM at 18,550. So if you look at the key resistance levels, it's 18,600 and 18,700. 18,600 definitely has more number of option contracts at 282,000. And then on the put side, 18,500 still retains a good amount of you know, uh, put writing, 225,000 contracts with for 50,000 contracts been written today. Now, again, as we saw yesterday, and this was one of the reason where I was little, alarmed with, because 18,300 saw a good number of contracts which are the highest OI yesterday. That is more or less still retaining in those contracts at nearly 200,000 contracts at 18,300, right? So 18,500 is a very key level. If it gets broken, then downwards we can see up to 18,300. But if 18,400, 500 is retained as the support of today, then probably we can start seeing 18,600 and I am doubtful if we get to see 700, but 18,600 definitely we should be able to see for tomorrow. So that's how I anticipate. Now, if you look at the total number of contracts, the total number of contracts again here with calls, we almost have 20 lakh contracts and puts has 14 lakh contracts. So definitely there are a good number of calls been written in comparison to puts. But what is interesting is on the intraday, call writing. So uh, we have almost 463,000 calls, and then there has been minus 187,000 calls, right? So there has been 1,807 187,000 contracts that has been unwinded from the put side. So that's something interesting to see, right? So all the puts that had been written in the ITM and ATM have been unwinded. And not only that, I think even I see a lot of unwinding happening across the puts. All the red uh, numbers that you get to see here with a negative sign or all the unwinding that's happened today, right? Across your strike prices, right from 18,100 until the ITM calls, right? So whatever you get to see is getting unwinded except for 18,500 levels. So definitely there is a lot of bearishness that is seen here with regards to the open interest in Nifty. So looks like Nifty can touch 18,300 probably tomorrow. There are higher chances that if 18,500 is broken, then the price could slide down to 18,300. So Nifty could be a good directional candidate if this happens tomorrow. By selling in the calls at 18,500, we can definitely expect it to be moved down until 18,300 and then get the premium encashed. Okay, let's quickly look at the Bank Nifty and try to understand how is Bank Nifty doing. So Bank Nifty pretty much similar thing. So we got to see that it opened below CPR and then it took some support at the previous week's high, but not for a longer time, and then it started breaking down and get to hit up to the support 4 level on the pivot chart, right? So only at this particular level of 43,800, which was a good support level in the last weeks, we got to see some buying pressure coming in again. And currently, you see that it's been closed at 44,200, but I don't think so. This level would be retained, and probably we can get to see more of selling coming in tomorrow, right? From this levels especially. And then further, we can retest this 44,800. Now, looking at the negativity in Nifty, probably Bank Nifty will also depict a similar behavior and start getting sold off at 44,200-ish levels. So we'll have to wait and watch on Bank Nifty as well. Let's look at the intraday time frames and try to confirm. And before that, let's see the daily candle how it's look like. So there has been a good long wick that has come in after the initial selling in the morning today, especially at the similar levels that we saw in the last week of May. So it's at 43,800, right? So 43,800 and 43,600 are very good supports in Bank Nifty. So I think these two levels will still be retained. So Bank Nifty can play anywhere between 400 to 500 points. Provided tomorrow is an expiry, we'll have to just look through, what could be the key levels for tomorrow itself. within this contracts. So let's look at the 15-minute chart and then get to the options contract and understand how the options are placed. Again, with Bank Nifty also you get to see a new lower high that's been built on the 15-minute chart. So let us try connecting this and draw a trend line. Okay, yeah. So there has been a good selling coming in from 44,300, which was the support earlier. So this support is very strong in terms of selling. So we'll have to see this particular level, 44,300. If this particular level breaks, then we can expect 44,500 again. Otherwise, it should start getting sold off, and we should be able to see these levels of today, at least at this particular support level, right? So 43,850 and 44,250. So this is the range which we will have to watch. Now it depends. If Bank Nifty starts moving upwards, then 44,500. If it starts sliding downwards, then 43,800 could be the two levels to be watchful. So I think playing a straddle tomorrow on Bank Nifty can be beneficial, but we'll have to see how it looks like on the pivots. So let's see what is the pivots relationship for tomorrow and what is the width that we get to see. So pivots again, as expected, because of the bearishness, you get to see this lower value relationship. But in Bank Nifty, you see the candle closing above the pivot, right? So this does not give as much as confirmation in terms of bearishness in Bank Nifty to a relative comparison with Nifty. So which means that there can be some amount of good consolidation happening in Bank Nifty, and I think if we could play in this 44,100 or 44,000 level straddles, probably that should be giving us a good premium DK tomorrow being an expiry. So we will check tomorrow in the opening print, and then we will take a call on the positions, right? So what levels we should be either playing in a straddle or a strangle on Bank Nifty. But before that, we will go ahead and confirm on the options contract and see how the options are written for Bank Nifty. Okay, so if you get to Bank Nifty, the current levels are 44,100. So now if you look at the total number of calls, you see 1 lakh 16 lakhs 55,000 and then 11 lakh 36,000 on the puts. So definitely there is 5 lakh contracts more on the call side. And if you look at the intraday change, we have 526,000 calls and then minus 163,000 puts. So again, there has been a lot of unwinding that's happened at puts. So people were very optimistic. If you look at this particular levels of 44,500, where you see a good number of unwinding of the contracts that's happened, right? So 113,000 contracts have been unwinded at 44,500. So people were very bullish until yesterday, but today they got to see that it's complete change in the sentiments, and they had to unwind most of these contracts that they had written at 44,500 and above, right? Okay, now if you look at the max OI, the max OI is at 44,500, and then the second max is at 44,300, right? So 44.3 and 44.4 seems to be good resistance levels. Now 44,000 has a good number of contracts, but again 43,500, which is 500 points away, has the next biggest OI that we get to see. So 44,000 levels is very important tomorrow to understand, how the market would play in terms of direction. So if 44,000 is broken down, then probably we get to see 43.8. So which can be held, as we saw today, we got to see a good support at 43,800. But if 43,800 is broken for any way, by is broken by any ways, we get to down to 43,500. And likewise on the top upside, if 44,200 is broken, which is at the key current level of in between the ATM 100 and 200, we can get to see up to 44,500. So Bank Nifty can range between 44,500 and then 43,800 is what I get to see for tomorrow, right? So looking at the pivots and the price action and also looking at the contracts, that's how I see it. But if there is a gap down, I mean, I'll not be surprised to see this levels 43,500 been coming in tomorrow. So that's my point of view on Nifty and Bank Nifty. We will not do Fin Nifty because Fin Nifty, it's, I mean, we anyways would not be trading in Fin Nifty for tomorrow, having a Nifty and Bank Nifty expiry. Anything else that we need to be looking at? I'm just wondering. No. Okay, so if I had to give a quick verdict or conclude upon my analysis and point of view for tomorrow, so Nifty, I think probably I'll again take a call whether I have to go with a straddle or strangle based upon the opening print and the price behavior. Otherwise, Nifty doesn't have any good amount of premiums. 18,300 just has $3 and 18,700 has $4, right? So it's not worth it to play on Nifty if I have to play a strangle. Either if I have to play a straddle, then probably I'll be doing a straddle on Nifty. Otherwise, if I had to do a strangle, then probably I'll do it on Bank Nifty at 43,800 and 700, and then on the call side at 44,500 and 44,600. So if I have to do a strangle, I'll do it on Bank Nifty, and if I have to do a straddle, I'd be doing it on Nifty. So that's my plan of action for tomorrow. I'm not very optimistic to make big returns tomorrow. I think the returns could be, the smaller ones, but just I have to be consistent in terms of making in the returns. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, getting into a negative number and then chasing in to get positive, right? So I'll be very cautiously trading this because the VIX is also very low. With this volatility, there are no premiums, and I am not comfortable buying in options on any given day. So I'm more of an option seller, and I play the option strategies, hedging in on both the sides as a delta neutral strategy. So for me, it's very important to be cautious and have a right risk management and money management in place rather than having in a directional movement and making the profits. Yeah. So that's my plan of action. Thank you very much, guys, for hearing through my analysis. I wish you all good luck. Thank you very much. Good night. Bye bye. Cheers.